Chapter 7. Copper woke from his stone-like sleep to the sound of laughter. Opening his eyes, he saw Dennis and two other young lady gargoyles standing in front of him. The two unfamiliar females were both shorter than Dennis and shorter than the other, but all three were incredibly attractive. To his chagrin, his blood once again began racing to his phallus. "Oh my," spoke the smallest female, who had a short sprout-like hair. "Look at it rise," Dennis said, pointing at Copper's phallus. "That's not normal," the third one, with shoulder-length hair, said to the others. "And he stood in front of Father like this?" "Yeah, no." Dennis saw Copper covering himself. "Like that?" She pointed, and the three females laughed. "Must you degrade me like this, Dennis?" Copper asked. Okay. Out, girls. Everyone out," Dennis said, as she shoved the other girls away. She looked back at Copper and informed him. "It's training day." "Thank you," he told her. "But first, you need to have your wings refurbished," she told him. "For real?" Copper asked, with a cheerful face. "Yep," she smiled at him. "Yes!" he yelled, jumping up. "I never thought I'd fly again." He saw that Dennis was staring again at his still hard phallus, and he quickly covered. She shook her head at his actions and then told him, "I'll get someone to take you to the refurb room," he said, walking away. It didn't take long at all before Copper found himself in the refurb room, surrounded by machines of the latest technology. Others stood behind a glass wall as they watched Copper inside the refurb room. "What do I do?" Copper asked, nervously, looking around at all the equipment. "Nothing," a wise-looking gargoyle spoke, and suddenly the room began to make strange noises. A device near the ceiling started spinning as the room illuminated. Something liquid sprouted at Copper. It smelled like blood. "Ah!" A white beam scanned over him that felt like it was probing him. The sensation was more strange than painful. Moments later, it was all seized, and Copper fell to his knees, wings fully expanded and trembling from time to time. But as his trembling eased, he felt so powerful, as if he could take anything, and then the right words came to his ears. "It's time to train," the king announced, as he viewed the transformation. "Bring him to the fighting grounds." The fighting grounds turned out to be a large section of the turtle's shell that was marked off and completely covered entirely with deep, dense sand. Dragons and other objects shaped from wood were strategically placed around the fighting area. "Hi, Copper." A slim-figured gargoyle approached and introduced himself. "My name is Kuda." "Kuda is our best flyer," the king told Copper. "All you have to do is keep up." Copper looked at the king and assured him, "I can keep up. I haven't flown in a long time, but I haven't forgotten." He looked back at the long-haired gargoyle. "Let's fly," Kuda shouted, and leaped straight to the sky. "Fly, Copper, fly!" A voice sprang from the sidelines of the arena. He knew Primoana's voice and saw her cheering him on. He leaped into the sky. "All right, Copper," Kuda said when Copper reached his side. "I'm starting off basic and kicking it up as we go." "I'm ready," Copper readily agreed. Kuda laughed. "All right." The two gargoyles flew through the skies and one behind the other. Up, down, spins, loops. Copper's loops were off a bit, but he stayed with Kuda. The speed got intense. Even those who were watching felt the force. It seemed Copper couldn't handle it. Kuda went high and came down with a sharp dive. Copper was close behind, but couldn't pull up in time and went straight to the ground. A huge booming sound could be heard. Dust and sand fogged Kuda and Copper's surroundings, but as the air cleared, you could see that Copper hit the ground on all fours, and Kuda, just inches from the ground, was still aloft, never touching the ground. Quickly, Copper sprung to follow Kuda, but couldn't get as low as Kuda. Already out of the mist of the sand and dust, streaks fade in behind them. Kuda hit the skies, and this time, even faster. Copper raced after him, but could not keep up. Kuda went for another dive, and Copper followed. Again, boom, was heard by all the spectators. "Oh my God," Moana screamed as she witnessed the crash. "He's not on his feet." She quickly teleported to his side and whispered fearfully, "Copper." "I'm fine," Copper responded, getting up slowly from the ground. "You all right?" Kuda asked as he came to a landing beside Copper. "Yeah," Copper responded. "You're good," Copper told him with admiration. "I know," Kuda replied with a cocky grin, and then flew off. "You all right to fly back to the king?" Moana asked. "I'm good, thanks," Copper told her. "Okay, see ya." She teleported away. Copper flew back to the king and reported, "I couldn't keep up." He felt disgraced and lacking and hung his head. The king put his hand to his beard and stroked it slowly as he responded to Copper's dejected mannerism. "Copper, what you might not understand is you've done greater than anyone else has ever done flying with Kuda." He paused at Copper's look of bewilderment. "Look around you, Copper." Copper raised his eyes and could see satisfied faces, nods and smiles from everyone. They all seemed to approve of him. The king's words and the supporting looks from the gargoyles gave him back some of his confidence that was so depleted moments ago. "No one hits the ground that hard and gets back up the way you did. Come now," the king told him. "Stoning is next." "Stoning?" "Yes," the king said as they walked. "You must learn how to use your stone. It's not just for sleeping, you know." The king brought Copper towards a large gargoyle whose skin color was a much darker grayish blue. "This is Wanidan. Wanidan, this is Copper." The king introduced the two, then turned to Copper and told him, "Wanidan will show you the art of stoning." Copper nodded in greeting and spoke his name, "Wanidan. You're a good flyer." The large and muscular bald one gave credit. "I more admired your crash." "Thank you." Copper accepted the compliment. Wanidan walked to a large piece of log and pointed at it. "What can you do with this?" he asked Copper. Copper laughed and replied, "Toss it to the lynchers where it belongs." "That's it?" questioned Wanidan. Copper was puzzled and then suggested, "Pound it, rip at it." "Is that all you can do to a dragon?" Wanidan asked him. Copper had no response to this question. "Let me show you something," said Wanidan. He raised his arm. Claws sprouted from his fingertips, and his whole hand turned to stone like a fitted glove. "Rah!" Wanidan yelled as he swung his arm down, tearing a large chunk out of the log with his claws. "Holy shit!" Copper muttered and was stunned by this display. "I've never tried that." "Focus your power anywhere, the same way you sleep and use it as a weapon." "What if I break my hand?" asked Copper. "You become fully stone when you are sleeping, not while awake. When awake, you can use the stoning power as a shield to your hands because you stone from the outside in. So try it. You can break the stone, but not your hand." Copper focused on his hand. It took a moment. He couldn't do it until he thought of rest. Resting his hand, he'd feel the numbing and watch it as it began to harden. "Good. Now stop," instructed Wanidan, "and give the log a try." Copper swung his hand down on the log, ripping an even bigger chunk than Wanidan. For breaking things, he was always good at. "Great!" exclaimed Wanidan. "Work on it more, and you'll master it. There's one thing that I want you to remember, though." Wanidan continued, and Copper looked at him for further instruction. "Aim for the dragon's neck at all costs. Find your way to using your stone, but use it wisely. It can save your life," Wanidan said as he walked away. Copper returned to the king. "Is there more?" The king took a deep breath before continuing. One thing you have is amazing strength. I just hope for your sake, it's enough. The king's words didn't sit right with Copper at all as he watched the king fly off. Copper's ears, the king's words rang with doubt of his ability, of disbelief in him, and maybe was not good enough. One thing Copper always had was willpower, especially if Copper knew he was capable of doing something. Copper, I've called, running to him. Hey Copper, I've called again, but before he could reach him, Copper flew off. Copper! He called one more time as he stopped running. He stood there and watched Copper disappear. Something was wrong with Copper, and he could feel it. Everything okay? Moana suddenly asked, teleporting herself, appearing beside Ive. I don't know. I think it's the flying that's bothering Copper, Ive guessed. He'll get it right, she assured Ive, and then she gazed back at the city. All this nakedness makes me want to strip. Huh? Her comment startled him. I want to get naked too, she said, with a mischievous smile on her face. You're tripping, Ive told her disgustedly, in hopes she would not. Where's Tavo? Primoana asked. Come to think about it, I haven't seen him since yesterday, commented Ive. I think he's hiding, said Primoana. From whom? wondered Ive. The gargoyles. They never sleep, she said. I know. It took me a while to go to sleep. It's like one goes to sleep and 3 wakes up, said Ive. I'm wired. I'm not getting any sleep, she said, widening her eyes in exaggeration. Naked gargoyles flutter my mind, she said. Moana, are you okay? Ive asked her seriously. No, Moana shook her head. Are you still dropping? Ive asked. Yeah, that's the only thing that's stopping me. From getting naked? Ive finished her sentence. Yeah. Moana answered, and then she instantly teleported away. Everybody's losing it, Ive said to himself, looked up catching sight of Copa in the sky. Copa was in the air, trying to figure out a way to have more control of his body in the skies at top speeds. Now high in the sky and looking down at the city, Copa's mind was racing. What could he do to improve? He looked out at the sea beyond the turtle's shell and thought of what the king said. Fly like a creature of the sea. Copa switched directions and drove into the waters with a splash. Once in the waters, it seemed even harder to control his body movement, but that's what he wanted, some resistance. He worked hard throughout the day until nightfall, coming up out of the water only for air. After working out for a time in the water, he would then fly into the air and out to run the same routine as he did previously with Kuda, and his results were now a success. Hey flyboy! Copa heard the voice from below and looked down. When he looked, he saw Dennis standing on the ground with her hands on her hips. I can fly pretty good myself, you know, she called to him. Oh yeah? asked Copa. Yeah, he answered with confidence. Better than Kuda? Copa asked. Kuda can't even catch me, and he definitely tried, she said, with a self-satisfied grin. Full of energy himself, Copa replied, the way I feel right now, you don't have a shot. I'm the best when it comes to the basics, Copa charged. Oh shit, she exclaimed, and swiftly leaped into the air. Her acceleration was like magic. That rush was dynamite. Let's see if you can keep it up, she called out to him. Pick it up? What'd you say? He shouted to her. I said... He started to call out, and then looked back to see that, when she looked back, he was gaining on her, and she made a cutting turn to shake him. You're a little short of words, Papa called out, still hot in pursuit behind her. Okay, pay close attention, she smiled, and cut through the air with swerves like nothing he had ever seen. Damn, he muttered, following her. You'll have to do that all night just to keep me at bay. And I can, she replied. But that wouldn't be fair. Dennis then turned and dipped into the gargoyle city. Let's have a little fun, she shouted to him. They flew through the city like water, a rushing river, like neon streaks. Through all the antiques Copper was gaining on her, and Dennis knew she'd get caught eventually. He then saw an opportunity for a desperate escape, and take it she did, dodging into a crowd and ducking around a corner. She turned her head to see if he followed, but not seeing him, she whipped back and around and screamed, "Holy shit!" Papa was right there, right in front of her. "How'd you?" she gasped out. "I would have done the same thing," he told her with a smile. He was now pinned up against the wall of the reef. "Okay," she panted and conceded. "You got me. Now give it to me. You can have it." He saw Copper's phallus grow and become hard. "I know you want me," she told him. "I'm thinking you desire the same as well," Copper replied, noticing her nipples were hard. He pulled her wrist from the wall as her wings dangled under his submission, so she could fly once more. "You're in heat," he marked, catching the scent of her pusna. In heat wasn't the word for what Dennis was feeling between her legs. He felt her pusna pulsating strong and said, "Wow, let's see just how good your nose is." She made a sudden leap into the air, stared at him, and flew away, darting quick glances back at him as she rose higher and cut into the city. Copper stood still for just a moment before leaping into the air himself, following the aroma of her hormones, a trail she did leave as he soared over the city tops after her distinctive fragrance. He noticed the scent was leading him to an open window. The closer he got to the window, loud and giddy chuckles could be heard. The scent grew much stronger. He felt his phallus throbbing as he landed on the ledge and stepped through the window. There he found Dennis with her two sisters standing in front of her. The younger sisters giggled at the sight of his hard phallus. "How did you fly like that?" the short one asked Copper. "I know you remember my sisters," Dennis smirked. "The short, hyperactive one is Dinka, and Oslin's a little rough." He trailed off and then shouted to his sisters, "Get him!" "Come here, Copper," Dinka called to him. "Close the window." "I got it," Oslin said, reaching out and closing the window. Dinka crouched down, dropped to her knees, and crawled to him, tail high in the air. She wrapped her long tongue around his phallus and began sucking. Oh, shit!" Copper cried out. He had never seen or felt anything like this. "You like that?" Oslin asked him as she watched his sister. "You like the way my sister consumes your phallus?" Copper was not able to reply. He was overcome unbelievable sensation. Oslin began caressing him softly and said, "Let me taste it." Dinka moved to give her sister room, and they both took turns tending to his phallus. Taking turns, and if not sucking, the other was licking his genitals. "Stop!" Dennis called out to them. "Don't make him come. You will then waste his valuable juices." Copper watched as Dennis walked over to a bed that was in the middle of the room and bent over it, lifting her tail and thrusting up her bottom. "Come, Copper," Dennis called to him. "Put that wet phallus in my pusna. Give it somewhere warm to hide." Copper was willing to oblige and slid his phallus inside her. "Oh," Dennis moaned. "Give it to me, Copper," he said, as his phallus separated her pusna and filled it with stiffness. He could feel her pusna hug his phallus. Her pusna clenched at him like a heartbeat. "Oh yeah, just like that. Oh," Dennis moaned in enjoyment. Copper gasped and watched Dennis' plump, round butt cheeks shake. The tail smacked against his chest with every stroke he gave her. He could also feel one of the girls licking his balls at the same time, and he could see someone's tongue lap at his phallus each time he withdrew. "Can you suck my pusna, Dennis?" Oslin came around from behind Copper and climbed onto the bed, sliding her pusna down and in front of Dennis's lips. Without words, Dennis whipped her tongue out on Oslin's pusna, licking her clit and sliding her long tongue inside her sister's pusna. Hey, come in my pusna, Copper," she cried out. His strokes felt so good. "Long, stroke it long," he told him. Copper groaned loud as his seed flowed from him inside Dennis, and his legs grew weak. Dinka stopped licking and sucking his balls and watched at his phallus slowly slide out of Dennis's pusna. She came around and crawled in Copa's arms, wrapping her legs around his body. "Am I heavy?" she asked and laughed. "I know I'm light. Give me some phallus now." Copa's phallus was ready, slippery, wet, and still rigid as he brought it up to put inside Dinka. Yeah, I need all that," Dinka told him. Copa grabbed a hold of her small round ass and plunged his entire phallus inside her. "Oh!" she cried out. "You want it?" Copa asked. "Yeah, sexy. Come on." She was feeling nothing but phallus between her legs. "Faster," she told him. Dinka was so light-weighted that Copa handled her with ease, bringing her body up and down on his phallus. "Is it right?" he asked. "Oh yes, it's so right. So right," she sighed. "You want some cum too?" he asked her. "Give it to me, baby. Blow me off this phallus," she encouraged. "Damn. Oh shit." Copa was becoming breathless. "Give me that phallus now," Dinka demanded, and Copa as asked, steady stroking her at the pace she wanted as he began to come again. Oh. "You coming, baby?" "Yeah, yes." "Don't stop, baby. Give me more." Dinka was bouncing on his phallus and his legs were getting weaker, but he continued as requested. He felt his phallus throbbing out of control. "Oh, Demi, yes, I feel it, baby," she was screaming. "Oh, Demi, God." Her juices flowed down his leg. "Okay, all right, you can stop now," she told him. He could feel her shaking in his arms. As he let her go, his phallus slid out from her even wetter than before. "Copper, come on up here with me and rest your shaky legs." Oslin invited him as she said, lying beside Dennis on the bed. He crawled on top of her and she grabbed his phallus and put it inside her pusna. "Push it, baby," Oslin said. Dennis and Dinka had started sucking Oslin's nipples. "Give me that last bit of energy. Copa, fuck me," she yelled to him, and he did. His hips met with hers, stroking her hot pusna. Hit it hard and deep. Yeah, hard. Oslin called out. He was also giving it all right back to him, stroking her pusna from beneath. "Ah!" Copper's cries were weary. "Harder," Oslin demanded. The claws gripped his hips, taking each of his blows. "Yes, nice big phallus. Give it to me. Shit, yeah." And deep and hard, Copper thrust. Sweat dripped from his body onto hers as their cries got louder. He was so drained of strength now, but every pusna had its own unique feel to it. His phallus stayed hard. "Hit that pusna. Pound it. Ow!" His hits were making her body jump. The tits jiggled as Dennis and Dinka licked all over them. "Oh fuck! Oh shit!" cried Copa. "Fuck me!" she hollered. "I want to feel it." "Can you feel it?" "Yes." "Ah!" Shouts of encouragement grew louder between the two. "I'm creaming," from her. "I'm coming," from him. "Come in me. Every drop. I want it. I want it." He roared, falling onto her in exhaustion. "That's a good boy," she said, between gasps of breath. Her body shook as she orgasmed with his phallus deep inside her, still throbbing. "Go to sleep now. We'll let you sleep," said Dennis, and they all fell asleep that night without turning to stone. Tired and satisfied they were. As for Copa, to have experienced sex for the first time, and not with just one, but with 3 beautiful princesses of the king, he felt absolutely fantastic.